So I have my 12 foot of the 4mm or 3/16 inch. I'm going to call it goat rawhide. It was sold as a calf rawhide, but everybody that seems to pick it up seems to think it might be goat. So it's real thin. And I'm putting some Fleabing's rawhide cream on it, which is basically a braiding soap. So I've got braiding soap, and this will add moisture and help with spinning. And it'll help it compact. So there's about 12 feet here. When we get done, I think we're going to have about 4 feet. 3.5, 4 feet. Because this is a twine. So it gets folded and spun twice. Or spun twice and folded. So I'm going to make an overhand knot, and I'm going to put it on the hook up here. So this hook basically provides some resistance. It allows the rawhide to spin. And then you have to run your fingers on it to feel the rough side. And you want the rough side on the inside. So you want the skin side out, the flesh side towards the center. And unfortunately, you can't just spin something like this with a drill. You have to manually set and do this. And after so many spins, you pull it tight. I'm sure you're probably curious about the width of it and the thickness of it. So, my hands are goopy. So this is 0.142 inches, so a little more than an eighth, which is 3.63 millimeters in width, and it's 12 thousandths, which is 1/3 of a millimeter thick. So it's pretty thin stuff. But if you lose the tension on the hook, then the hook's going to escape, and it might start untwisting if you haven't set the twist. One nice part with this material is it is very elastic, but it's stretchy and elastic, but then it also, because it has moisture and some fat, and the temper is just right, you can spin it. And so on the first spin, you're going to get a 1.6 inch, a 1.4, 1.5 for a millimeter and a half, or 60 thousandths, so 6/100ths of an inch, before you fold it. And then when you're done, you should have about a 3 millimeter spun goat hide twine or goat string, literally made out of goat rawhide. And I haven't found a faster way, if somebody has a better way, than manually folding it or manually spinning it by hand. I'd love to know, but putting it on a drill, problem is if you get a fold in this stuff, you basically are going to have a place where it breaks, because, oh, by the way, I'm spinning it with the curvature, so the curvature was an outside curvature. I put the end on so that it curved this way, and as I'm spinning it, it'll help mitigate the curviness of the string itself. And you'll see me take the tension out of it, but then I'll also lock the tension into it. I don't normally bring people in and show them most of my workshop, but this particular camera has a wide angle lens on it, so it captures a lot of my setup. This tripod gives me a place to hang a hook that's a swivel, and it's a mountaineering swivel. That's, I had somebody cut a stainless steel ring and weld the stainless steel ring to be solid again. So you can put all sorts of stuff up there. It's got plenty of strength. So now I might knock off the rough edges of this. I did not bevel the edges of this rawhide, so I'm spinning something that's potentially a little bit on the sharp side. But I found that if you bevel and knock the corner off of this before you spin it, you get a fuzzy little ring that goes down the whole thing instead of it locking together tightly. And because of the rawhide cream, it adds enough moisture that it knocks back the edge at least while you're working with it. And you can always sand the string just lightly with some 400 grit when you're done, and knock back any tiny sharp bits. But because it's out of spun string, it's interesting. It's different. And one interesting thing with this Fleabing's rawhide cream is it's basically like David Morgan's braiding soap. It's an ivory soap kind of a base that's whipped with air and has a percentage of moisture and fats. Could be that it's lard, could be that it's beef tallow, I don't really know. I like beef tallow generally. Just a personal preference. But spinning string has been done forever. But the better the string you start with to spin, the more consistent the end product's going to be. The same thing goes with knots or braiding. And this lace